against the Cradley Heathens, who are the Golf League champions. Now, this is a two-leg competition in which Cradley won the first by 43 points to 35, making full use of their home advantage. So we're concentrating on the decisive second leg this afternoon. It was held on Thursday at Ipswich. But as far as Cradley was concerned, Thursday night was the night of doubt because their captain, world champion Bruce Penhall, was in conflict with the club over a new contract. And it was a surprise in that context that he was riding at all. Gary Newborn asked him why.
I'm happy to ride because of you folks, and I'm also I'm very concerned. I don't believe in sort of holding a gun to anybody's head like the promoters or any of the supporters either. I feel like it's important for me to finish out these two legs, and if we can't come to terms, then I'm going to have to think and maybe do something else. And I hope it doesn't come to that because Cradley's really the only team I want to ride for. But if we can't agree terms, we can't agree terms.
How far apart are you?
I wouldn't like to say any figures right at this time, Gary, but we're pretty ways off. If it was anywhere near close, I would say let's go for it. But we both have our disagreements, and hopefully they can be sorted out before Saturday's match at Cradley.
So a disagreement on Thursday evening, a doubt about Penhall's future at Cradley. But negotiations continued yesterday and until the early hours of this morning when a decision was satisfactorily reached. A contract was drawn between these two, between the world champion Bruce Penhall, captain of Cradley, and the league champions. Very satisfactory indeed. And the news came to us this morning, as a matter of fact, from Bruce himself. And I gather the fee is something like £30,000, which would make Bruce the richest ever speedway rider in a season in this country. But back to Thursday evening, remember, Cradley had an 8-point lead going into the second leg of the Premiership at Ipswich. Now, Ipswich also captained by an American, SIGALOS, and including Nigel Flatman, Kevin Jolly, Scandinavian Preben Eriksson, another American, John Cook, and then Jeremy Doncaster and Mike LANHAM in their team. Cradley, skippered by the world champion Bruce Penhall, and calling on fellow American Lance King, the Dane ERIK Gundersen, Alan Graham, Peter's brother Phil Collins, Andy Reid and Ian Gledhill. So let's go straight over to the Vauxhall Heath Stadium now and join Dave Lanning.
Last week we started our 1982 Speedway coverage in a blizzard in Bavaria. This time we're at Ipswich, and after beautiful springtime weather throughout the day, you can see it's got a bit foggy. So snow, now fog, and this is supposed to be a summer sport. But we're sure that's not going to cloud our entertainment as we look towards Heat 1. And we wonder if this is going to be Bruce Penhall's last appearance for Cradley for some time. He's in the white helmet colour here on the outside. Look across the line on the inside there, SIGALOS, the American captain of Ipswich. Next to him, a new face, Lance King, an 18-year-old American, had a sensational debut for the Heathens in the first leg. Grid 3 has Nigel Flatman in the blue helmet colour for Ipswich, and on the outside, the reigning world champion, Bruce Penhall. Reminder that in the first leg, Cradley were triumphant by 8 points, 43 to 35. This is the second leg, 4 laps away, 30 heats in a away. And it looks like the Cradley pairing have hit the front. It's Penhall and it is King. A very fine start from the young American. In third place, it is Flatman. But, well, we heard about this young man from California, Lance King, in front. And he looks every inch as good as we were told he was. He's in front. Penhall sitting back. He'll be happy to sit there. We look for SIGALOS, the home skipper, who's way at the back. And this isn't a good start for the Witches, and the Heathens, the reigning British League champions, looking very good early on. Lance King, 18 years old, as he comes into his last lap. And 7 points in his debut for the Heathens against Ipswich, and that's the most impressive start, in fact a better one than Penhall when he came over here. And this is a cracking start for the league champions. Over the line goes King, second place Penhall, third was Flatman. It means the aggregate scores move on 48-36 to Cradley. We move into the reserves race, the home racing debut for the rider in red. That's Jeremy Doncaster, a new signing in the Ipswich side. The lineup in white on the inside, Andy Reid, a recent acquisition from Glasgow for Cradley. Next to him, Doncaster. Lots of attention on him. Grid 3 has Ian Gledhill, another signing by the Heathens during the winter from Mildenhall on the outside. Mike LANHAM in blue. And as they hit the corner, it's getting a bit tight in there, but it's the Witches in front, and down they go in a terrible heat. First of all, it was Doncaster, then Reed, and finally Lanham hit the fence, and that was a nasty one. As they get away, we can see Doncaster gets clear. It seems to be almost clear in grid 2, and Lanham comes across the outside. Now, Reed is the man to watch on the inside, because as Lanham gets into trouble, he makes his move here, moves over Doncaster. Doncaster roars right under the nose of his partner Lanham. Lanham gives Reed a clip. That knocks him out towards the fence. You can see Mike Lanham hitting the fence just over some rib and wrist injuries. He goes down heavily again, and that really was an unhealthy one.
Jeremy Doncaster, can we ask you very quickly what happened there?
Yeah, well, I made the first turn, and this Ian Gledhill, he came on the inside.
Andy Reid it was.
Andy Reid, actually, and he just smashed straight into us, and I didn't have a hope. I just went straight through the fence.
Are you okay now?
Yeah, I was just a bit bashed and bruised, and whoa, yeah, I'm okay.
The rerun of Heat 2, and there, shaken if not stirred, Jeremy Doncaster, the new boy making his introduction to his hometown crowd, picking himself up from a collision with the fence, coming into the restart. Andy Reid, the rider in white, judged to be the cause of the accident, has been excluded. We gather he has a thumb injury, so an opportunity for Ipswich to regain some ground. 3 starters only, Doncaster on the inside, in Gledhill in the middle, and Mike Lanham on the outside. And this time it is the Witches pairing who get clear. Doncaster leads it. Lanham coming around the outside. Gledhill is third as they disappear into the murk and fog. It really is getting a bit soupy out there. Lanham has lost his helmet colour. It looks as though he has a yellow helmet. In fact, that's supposedly a blue helmet colour. You can see there just how foggy it has become. But the Ipswich pairing, pretty good of those. Doncaster there. A little bit of trouble. Gledhill has now moved up onto their back wheels. The Ipswich pairing really can't afford to make any mistakes as they again disappear almost into the murk. Into the last lap around here at Ipswich. Good crowd turned out, almost capacity audience. Perhaps we see more of it than they do as we go into the last corner. Gledhill's making a bit of an effort here, but it's going to be Lanham over the line. Second place Doncaster. That's an impressive start for the local lad. Third was Gledhill, so a 5-1 heat win there for Ipswich. Means they're back to 8 points behind on deficit all aggregate. Heat 3. Tonight scores level 6 apiece. Aggregate though still Cradley 49-41 up. Let's have a look at the lineup here. On the inside is Preben Eriksson, the Dane for Ipswich in blue. Next to him, yellow and black, Alan Graham, back from a successful winter down under with the Young England Tourists. He's in yellow and black for Cradley. Grid 3 has John Cook, the cowboy from America, in the red helmet colour for the Witches, and on the outside, Phil Collins, one of the Collins clan from Cheshire. He's in the white helmet colour. So Heat 3. The fog swirling in across Foxhall Heath here. And, well, look at Eriksson. We do really have some extremes of weather in our speedway coverage. Here we go for Heat 3. That's a flying start from Alan Graham, and we have lost the rider in blue. Preben Eriksson has stopped, and it's Cradley up front. The Cradley pairing in front. Cook is going after them. So can John Cook split up this heathen pairing? In front is Graham, then we have Collins, and Cook is going hard at them, and I think he might just have squeezed through. No, he hasn't, as they disappear over. In again goes John Cook. This is a bit more like it. Cook getting in among them here, and the Cradley pairing in. Team riding to perfection. This time it is Collins that's gone on in front, and Graham's dropped back to try and protect him. And Cook again tries to hurtle down through the murk there down the back straight, but it really is a fine piece of team riding from Cradley. And now Graham, having pushed his partner Collins up front, seems to be withholding Cook as they go around out into the fog. Difficult to see them now. Still Collins in front. Second place Graham, and Cook trying desperately hard, trying to bore a hole through the inside. Doesn't make it. Fine piece of team riding there. That's what Team Speedway is all about. A win for Collins. Second was Graham. Third place was Cook. He did try so very hard. But that means another 12 points on aggregate. The Heathens have moved in front. 7:11 on the night, 42.54 on aggregate.
Dennis Sigalos, the Ipswich captain, you're 12 points behind after only 3 heats, so how do you see it now?
Well, it doesn't look too red hot for us right now, but the meeting's just begun right now, so we've still got a long ways to go, and we'll have to pull it back.
Is this fog making any difficulty to the riders?
No, I shouldn't think so. It's a bit slick off the starts tonight. I just did a few major little tricks with my motorcycle. I was just spinning like heck in that last race, so you know I detuned it a little bit. Hopefully it'll grip up a bit. But as far as the fog goes, it's no hindrance at all.
But 12 points is a lot against
Sure
Cradley.
is. It sure is a lot of points. So I think we can pull it back, no problem.
Okay, thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Heat 4 introduces ERIK Gundersen, one of this bright brigade of new young Danes in British Speedway. He'll be on the inside. We remember him so well from Wembley in his world final debut. Finished way up the list, 4th, and had a little bit of bad luck with his motors as well. Obviously one to watch in 1982. There's the machine, of course, 500cc. Most of these riders ride either British Westlakes or Czechoslovakian Yawas. We've had no real major mechanical change during the winter that we can really have a look at. Still powerful pieces of machinery. And here we have the grid lineup for heat number 4. On the inside, ERIK Gundersen of White. Grid 2 has Kevin Jolly. Grid 3, Ian Gledhill from Cradley. On the outside, we have Jeremy Doncaster. And that's an even break. And into the corner first goes Gundersen. Going after him is Jolly. 3rd place is Doncaster. And it's Gundersen who pulls clear down the back straight. The Ipswich pairing are tucked in behind him. And at the back it's Gledhill. And here is Gundersen. Second Jolly. Doncaster was in 3rd place. And Gundersen, well, he really is a fine young prospect. As they disappear down into the murk, here is Gundersen. 22 years, 6 months. Spent all his British career with Cradley. Scored 5 points in the first leg. 4th in the world final last year. And indeed scored more maximums for Cradley in their championship year last year than his skipper Bruce Penhall. Bruce managed 9 maximums, whereas ERIK scored 10 full maximums during the Heathens championship romp. Now they're into the last lap. And it has been a win from pillar to post from Gundersen. He goes over the line, making sure the heat is shared. So Cradley still hang on to that 12-point overall aggregate lead. So the score on the night, 10 to Ipswich, 14 to Cradley, but overall it's 45 Ipswich, 57 Cradley. Ipswich still to pick up this big 12-point deficit as we move into Heat 5. On the inside, John Cook for Ipswich. Next to him, Lance King, such an impressive first-time winner in Heat 1. He's in Grid 2. Grid 3 has Previn Eriksson. Engine trouble robbed him of any chance in his opening ride. And on the outside, Bruce Penhall, reigning world champion, having had some trouble with the Cradley management over terms. There is Penhall. And we are moving into the start of Heat number 5. And it's Cook from the inside and Penhall from the outside. Cook leads it. Penhall is in 2nd place. King has come through into 2nd place, passing the world champion with consummate ease. And again, it looks as though the rider in red, that's John Cook there. We can just about pick him out. He's going to go clear. And the Cradley pairing will settle for sharing the points here. Remember, they're 12 in front overall, so really they just need the stone wall. And Previn Eriksson, the other Ipswich rider, is way at the back. Here's Cook, 21 years old, of course, one of the big surprise packets of last year. And Cook does love to go around on his back wheel. He's a great showman. Now that's controversial. A lot of people say that he's taking unnecessary risks by doing that, but this is why they call him the cowboy. He's out there somewhere. Here he comes. We'll watch him go and see if he goes over the line on his back wheel again. Oh, up he goes. He takes heat number 5. 2nd was King. 3rd was Penhall. Shared points again. Still Cradley 12 up.
Well, I call you cowboy, John Cook. Was that an unnecessary risk, that wheelie on the lap before the last one?
Well, Gary, I don't know. It's just the track's a bit funny tonight. It's got a few ruts in it, so when you pick up, it's best just to ride it along. If you try to bring it back down, it'll slow your pace up a bit. And I didn't bother to look back and see how Lance and Bruce were doing there. But coming out of the start, I made a fairly good start. You know, Lance was there, but I just got a bit more drive on him coming in the turn. So
you don't think you're taking a risk with that wheelie, though?
Well, no, not really. Some people say it's dangerous, but like I say, when you get it up, it's more dangerous trying to get the thing down because sometimes you'll hit and fly all over. But usually I just ride along and just grip the whole way.
Well, Ipswich will be looking to their number one and skipper Dennis Sigalos to really try to spark some form of revival here. Remember, they're 12 behind on aggregate. Sigalos had some trouble with his machine. He's been complaining to our man in the pits, Gary Newbon, that it's a bit grippy, and he's coming back in. Said he'd worked some magic tricks on the bike, but obviously still not happy. So Sigalos re-enters the arena. So vital for the Witches if they are to make any kind of showing in this second leg of the Premiership. They are to retrieve the points against a side so talented and packed in strength as Cradley. Sigalos has really got to start weaving his own kind of magic. He'll be on the outside here in Heat 6. The lineup then. We have Erik Gundersen, an impressive winner first time out. He's on the inside in white. Next to him in blue, we have Nigel Flatman. Grid 3 has Ian Gledhill, reserve, coming in for his fellow reserve, Andy Reid, who we sadly hear has confirmed a broken thumb at Heat 2 fracas. And on the outside, Dennis Sigalos, home number one and captain, looking to improve his fortunes and the Witches. Here we go for Heat number 6. Henderson had a flyer. Gundersen's away from the inside. Second place is Sigalos. Moving into third place, it is Nigel Flatman, although Glenhill has gone around the outside of him. So it could be that Cradley are going to forge even further in front here. Still, it is Gundersen in front, but the battle is really all for the third place points. You can see that Flatman, will just come through there. Flatman has just moved past Glenhill again, but still, quite good news for Cradley. They will be content just to block. They'll be content to share every race because they're so far ahead on aggregate. 12 points, remember. And here is Erik Gundersen, who had a getaway there at the start. And well, when he gets in front of this young man from Denmark, doesn't make mistakes and goes very quick. Second place, we have Sigalos. Third place, now battle through, it is Nigel Flatman, local lad from Felixstowe. Over the line, 300 metres, remember, around Foxley's first. It is Gundersen. Second place was Sigalos. Third was Flatman. Still 12 points difference overall. 6 races gone in the second leg. The progressive totals on the night show Cradley 20 points and Ipswich on 16. But overall, Cradley stretching that aggregate lead, 51-63. That's the way it stands after 6 races.
Well, Bruce Penhall, 3 weeks ago you were in the sunshine riding in California. What do you make of the fog here?
I don't know. I think I'm going to put a flashlight on the top of my helmet or something. It's pretty hard for all of us to see, and our lenses are getting so misty so quick. It's really hard for us to see, but I think all the guys are doing the best they can, and we're still putting on a really good show, and we're hanging in there.
There's incredible weather over in this country,
though. Man, it was great and sunny this morning. Now I can hardly see myself.
A bit different from back home.
Oh, it sure is, but, we're going to have, this is the only country I know of that has 5 seasons in one day, But never mind that, we're here to race and we're doing a pretty good job today.
What happened last time you came here with Cradley to play Ipswich?
Well, I can remember about 3 years ago when I was here, we got actually fogged off. Billy Sanders came out with a flashlight on the top of his helmet. So last time we had some bad luck, Cradley did, but we're doing all right tonight, taking care of him.
You're well ahead now, aren't you?
Yeah, we're doing really good. We're holding our own, and we have really nice, strong, even heats all the way through the rest of the program, so we're looking pretty good.
Even if the skipper can't see all the heats properly?
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep my eyes open and point in the right direction, I guess.
Bruce, thanks.
Thank you.
The fog swelling in then to make things impossible for riders and pretty hopeless for television cameras too, but both teams battled on, and we rejoined Dave Lanning peering through the gloom at what was to be a decisive Heat 11.
Heat 11, and now Ipswich have only 3 races left to pull back this 10-point overall deficit on aggregate. We look across the line here Kevin Jolly on the inside in red. Next to him, the most impressive Lance King. Grid 3 has Mike Lanham on the outside, Bruce Penhall. So Cradley really only needing 5 points from the last 3 heats to make sure of his first ABCO Trust Premiership. And away they go again, and again it is King and Penhall going around the outside to shepherd him. Down the back straight into the gloom. It is Penhall and King, and this surely will wrap up the ABCO Trust Premiership for the league champions, the Heathens. They have looked really most authoritative out there. They've never looked in any real danger all night despite the conditions. And it must be said that young Lance King here, in with the world champion, probably has been their match winner. He's got 8 points so far, and it looks as though Penhall, the old dog out there, great team rider, will make sure he gets shepherded home here. Down the back straight into the corner. Cradley looking as though they're going to be quite a force in British Speedway. The reigning league champions, of course, have lost 3 of last year's side. Lance King is one of the riders they've drafted in, and he can certainly make them even more closer. Over the line they go. It's going to be Penhall, then King. Third place there was Jolly. That really wraps it up for Cradley.
Well, from the outset, Cradley, the league champions, never really looked like losing, winning the second leg eventually 41-37 and the Premiership overall 84-72. And I can but apologise for those pictures. There was nothing we could do about the fog, and it was fairly impossible for our crews there. They did what they could, and we showed you just as much as we could with the conditions being what they were. Gary Newbon did the interviewing, by the way, and Dave Lanning was the commentator. Can I just confirm the good news for Cradley fans that Bruce Penhall has signed a new contract, and he will lead them tonight in their league opener at